Good morning, everyone. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the December 23rd, 2025 Rockingham County Commissioners meeting. I jumped the gun. We already did the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll move to attendance. Commissioner Tombarello.
Here.
And Commissioner Coyle is joining us by Zoom.
Good morning.
And I'm Commissioner Godu, sitting in as Vice Chair to run today's meeting. So we'll move right into the consent agenda, surplus equipment request from long-term care.
I'll make a motion to approve a surplus equipment request pursuant to New Hampshire RSA 28:8-A and declare a 2014 bariatric bed from long-term care services surplus with the item to be used for parts.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Okay, Commissioner Tombarello?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right, accounts payable list.
I'll make a motion to approve the December 23rd, 2025 accounts payable list of $4,427,435.40.
Second.
Discussion. Chuck, you want to tell us about, I mean, I know why, but tell us why we're spending so much money this week.
Well, we're doing a little catch up on long-term care services at EXO bills for August, September, and October. It's not through any fault of our own, so EXO had to work through some billing corrections. And so they finally submitted the August or October items to us to be paid. They're paid by ACH or wire. That's why they're not part of the regular like paper check run portion. But that makes up about 1.3 million of that 4.4 million total. And then also we have the scheduled bond payment. That's for the middle of January. So we're just getting it approved right now, and that's principal and interest on the 3 current existing bonds. So that we have a bond bank.
Excellent.
So that's another, 1.9 million there. So those things alone make up about 3/4, 3.2 of the $4.4 million total.
Okay, excellent. I noticed the 3 Sodexo bills in there, our first ones. I assume that you find them acceptable. I would love to see a listing of what we paid Glendale for the same period last year, just as a comparison. And I'm also curious, I don't recall what the number was, but when Sodexo came on board, there was an estimate of what they expected the billing to be each month. I'd just like to know how close their estimate was, just so that we can kind of track, since this is the first time we see Sodexo bills.
Chuck, I already have the year-over-year trend from when Glenda was there created. So I'm happy to share it with you first to look over. And then in regards to the bills, we have a newer AP person, Nicole, who's very detail oriented, which is wonderful. And one of the pieces that we pushed back in some of their commissions is we really wanted, instead of, just a credit all in one month, we wanted to know what the credit went to, so that there wasn't any room for, kind of that wasn't what it was for, just as a in case. So we'll look through those, and I'm happy to work with you to build out the trends. But if it saves you time, I already have the trend breakdown for Glendale. I will say, in regards to the comparison of what was bid, there will be a difference, just so you know, because we didn't have the actuals of what the labor cost, and we honored the rates of the current employees. Some of those employees were making more than what we had known at the bid, that we weren't able to share at the time because that information was not given to us. So there will be some discrepancy, just so you know.
Sure, fair enough. Just wanted to see where we're at. Commissioner Coyle?
If I may, and thank you, Commissioner Godu. I had the same idea in terms of getting some of that data. But how are we from a budgetary standpoint?
So I have to pull the exact trend on it. I think that we're still aligned in it, and I'll send all of that over, if not today, tomorrow. I know in talking with Chuck in pre-budget, when we looked at the budget, we actually budgeted not off of the proposal, but we made a comparison of Glendale's versus the proposal, and then took the highest of each line. as well as encumbered so that it wouldn't be a budgetary impact because we weren't certain, knowing that we weren't able to give great information during the RFP, knowing there'd be some discrepancies. So we did err on the side of caution as much as possible and take the higher of the two numbers, whether it was the actual from Glendale or from the RFP. But I now that it's in Munis, I'll actually be able to pull the trend a little easier and clearer, and that's one of the things that I will be happy to send over.
Great, thank you.
Okay, great. All right, so on the motion to approve the accounts payable account, is there any other discussion?
Nope.
Okay, Commissioner Coyle,
Yes,
Commissioner Tombrello, and I vote yes.
Thank you.
Okay, commissioner reports. Anybody have anything? Commissioner Coyle?
I don't have anything, just wish everybody safe and happy holidays.
Commissioner Tombrello?
Just briefly, Jude's down the hall at a meeting, so when we go around the department heads, I have a couple of things that she asked me to talk about. And then this morning, I went over to the jail this morning. Spent a couple hours with the superintendent and all of the brass over there and walked up to where the sheriff's department was, and just to get a kind of a guess at what we're gonna be doing down the road with that third floor or second floor, I guess, depending on how you look at it. And it's gonna need a lot of work. I did have a discussion briefly with Jude about what we're gonna be putting in for capital projects on that aspect of it for next year's budget. And I would recommend that the other two take a walk over there and look at what we're up against. It looks like it's gonna be, and I thought, Chuck, for just briefly, I thought that when we started talking about this building that we had Warren Street, wasn't there a figure, it's probably not in the monies for the overall building, but I thought that at one time we plugged a number in there for renovations for when the sheriff's department left.
Very old. I can't remember what the figure is, but it's outdated.
Yeah, because it's gonna need a lot. I talked briefly with Jude.
I think the initial number back when was.
Million.
Yes.
And then
Yeah,
that-
well, I remember-
There's only 300,000, but I think that went away. I couldn't.
But it's something, and we had a pretty good discussion. It's gonna need, between the camera thing that there's no internet, there's no infrastructure, but nothing can really happen because the sheriff is still running 911 out of the back of the building. So it's not like we can take down the ceiling, and there's 1,000,000+ miles of wire that it's above that ceiling that I don't know how we poked our head up there. I don't know how the ceiling doesn't come down. It's
bad.
There's millions of, not, I said 1,000,000, there's millions of miles of wire that different aspects of technology have just left the old and run new. So there's a lot, and it's something that we're gonna have to wrap our head around. But I think, right now, I wouldn't think that we're gonna put a lot of money into it in next year's budget, because I'm concerned about next year's budget. But I would recommend that the two of you go over there, maybe not climb up on the ladder. I'm still young and agile, agile, is that the guy? But it's just something that we're gonna have to talk about, because we did commit for the corrections to overtake that eventually. But I think, Sheriff, is it maybe a year before the 911?
I have to check with Captain Walsh on
Yeah.
that. All I know is on, I think it was Saturday, Friday night, that our dispatch went down over here. And I had to send 2 deputies over to the old building until, Brenda came up, and then Captain Walsh came up and got it back up and going. So right now, it's our backup system. And I'd have to find out, I'll let you guys know next meeting, how long they're.
Like I said, Robin did say Q1 of next year for 911 and that stuff kind of move over. So you're still looking at Q1 next year for that part to even transition into this building.
Right, and so until we have a definite, I will start ripping stuff out of there. But like I said, thank God that we had that system up, because this system went down. It's like, okay,
Yes, okay.
thank you.
So just that's all, just that it's something that we're gonna have to really look at, and I'm scared of the number. Superintendent and I kind of looked and I talked to Jude about some of the numbers. It's gonna be a pretty costly project for us to make that happen.
I agree, Commissioner Tombrello, and just like I'm worried about the budget and the operating costs of the new building, so it's gonna be a tough tough budget year for sure, but it's good to start talking about it and thinking about it now.
Okay, I don't have anything interesting except Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, yeah. Are we allowed to say that in today's world now? Can we say Merry
You
Christmas?
say anything you want, freedom of
Oh.
speech.
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody, even if I'm not supposed to say it.
Okay, so, moving on, we have, Finance Department janitor and housekeeping services bids. Do we have all three vendors here that we had selected? I know
Yes.
we have one. I don't know any of the folks that are on the screen,
There
or
are
who they
3 here.
represent.
There are 3 here.
All three are here.
Yes, 2 of them via Zoom and CNM is in person.
Okay, all right,
Do you have a
so,
copy of that, Chuck? You have a copy of those?
Oh, yes, you can.
I just looked at it on my computer, but it's the long one, so I can't print it. It would have been.
so I think that,
oh, yeah.
what we ought to do is, well, I wasn't expecting to have this morning, to tell you the truth.
Commissioner Godu,
Yes,
would
Commissioner,
you indulge me for a suggestion, which
Sure.
is, I think what we need to do is get through the regular meeting, like the bulk of this meeting, table this to the end of the meeting. And then to the extent that we want to ask questions and attain some more information, that would be the proper time. That way, if there are department heads who have completed their business, they can leave. We can ask some questions at the end of the meeting and then proceed that way.
I think that's fine. I'll accept the motion to table temporarily.
Second?
Commissioner Coyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Tombrello.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, so we'll table this till later in the meeting, so we can move through the meeting. USI Insurance Services, motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the USI Insurance Services calendar year 2026 premium of $113,402 for excess workers' compensation coverage, and authorize the chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended by the Senior Director of Finance.
Second.
Any discussion on this? Chuck, do you want to clarify what we're doing here?
So what happened was when Arch Insurance was the lowest quote from the 2-year policy premium, what it was a fixed quote was on the rates. Obviously, our payroll doesn't stay steady year to year, and so when you apply that same fixed rate to a larger payroll, the premium increases, but the rate is being held steady. So this is a $13,000 increase versus what the current year 25 policy year premium is. But even the 113,000 is much less than what it had been for the prior 4 or 5 years anyways, for calendar years 24 and before. So it still is
The rate's the same. We have more
Yes, it's a fixed
employees,
rate per-
bigger payroll.
per $100.
Yeah. Okay. Any other discussion, questions?
Nope.
Okay, so on the motion, Commissioner Coyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Tombrello.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
Okay, long-term care. In a Volun provider, what does it?
In Avalon?
An Avalon provider, contract amendment.
I'll make a motion to approve an Avalon.
I wasn't familiar with that one.
I'm easy with Italian words. Innovalon Provider Inc. contract amendment for an additional $84 a month for the Medicare file subscription services beginning January 1st, 2026, and authorize the chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
Any discussion on this?
All
Seeing
of the
none,
Primex
discussion?
changes were adopted.
Yeah,
It's a service we've been using to bill and they just weren't charging us and they saw it. They're not going backwards, but in order for us to bill.
we need to pay a little extra. Okay, Commissioner Tombrello.
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle.
Yes.
I vote yes. Strategic Healthcare Managed Care Consulting Service Agreement.
I'll make a motion to approve the Strategic Healthcare Managed Care Consulting Services Agreement for $9,000 beginning on December 23rd, 2025, and continue through the duration of the project, and authorize the chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
Second. Oh, I wasn't supposed to do that.
You can second.
All
I second your second.
right, okay, great, thank you. Any discussion on this?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Commissioner Tombrello.
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Accelerated Care Plus Leasing.
Make a motion to approve the Accelerated Care Plus Leasing, Inc. Purchase and Warranty Service Agreement effective December 19th, 2025 for the purchase of an OmniStan Dynamic Balance System for $8,480.38 plus 2 years extended limited additional coverage of $1,449, and authorize the chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
Second.
Discussion. I have one question. Seems expensive for the warranty service.
So
It's
essentially,
8%, 8.5% of the purchase price.
so the equipment itself is an item that'll be used so that we don't have to co-treat if someone needs help standing to allow our residents to get more therapy standing. This is the only one that doesn't require adding tracks, etc. The warranty is optional. However, because it is kind of a solely on them to get parts to do all of those things, if it gets bumped, if it gets knocked over, it can get very costly to replace it, and the warranties for 2 years. They offer us the ability to add this extra piece so that if it gets knocked over, if it essentially, when you do the math on some of the main pieces of it, it truly would be a couple repairs, and then it also includes the ability to add it into, we have other products through them. They come once a year to service at a flat rate of, I think it's starts at $9. I'm gonna lie if I give you the full number. And it would allow it to be added into that opposed to double paying for that fee.
Okay. Any other discussion? Commissioner Coyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Tombrello, and I vote yes. Okay, department head updates. Kathy, get to my left. We'll start with you.
Good morning. Business as usual at the registry. We've had quite a few people who applied. We posted for positions at the office. And I'm gonna be doing second interviews starting next week, so looks pretty promising. We're pleased this time around to have some good candidates.
Excellent.
And other than that, I wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Great. Thank you, Kathy. Allison,
I don't have anything, but thank you, and I hope everyone has a nice holiday.
Jason,
Currently 168, everybody's just getting ready for the holiday. We have 6, also new staff members will start in the beginning of January, so hiring
nice.
is still going well. That's all I have right now.
All right.
Oh,
Chantel.
I did one. Okay, so our census is 129 in the nursing home. Our assisted living is at 45. However, we have 3 move-ins for assisted living between tomorrow and January 2nd. We do have 2 staff members still out with COVID. However, all of the exposure testing for our residents has resulted in negative, and that has been completed. Just wrapping up for Christmas, very busy. Our hiring too is going really well. We have another kind of larger orientation group coming. And then I just, again, like to end on a positive. So thank you to Kathy Casey. She reached out to us, and her son's company, Stacy's Farm and Garden, donated a lot of, I always say it wrong, quinceañeras, in wreaths, I still said it wrong, to our residents. And so many of our residents were so excited kind of seeing them and getting to send them around. So thank you.
Chuck,
Very busy with many different things. One thing that's been coming up, because the pilot program grants come to an end, that each of the 2 outfits that perform AMDC services, Easter Seals and Silverthorne, I guess, have wish lists. Easter Seals ran their wish list past one of the Alton of DHHS. And most of the items on that wish list were approved. As far as how, if the board wants to accept these items to being paid through the grant, Wendy Altman suggested just modifying the basic agreement with Easter Seals is really just about providing coverage on these pre-approved items beyond the normal $25 per day for Medicaid, additional participant, or $100 per day for support for med pending. That's the basic support structure that was part of this pilot program grant for any new participant in adult medical daycare that each facility got. I believe that the total amount that Easter Seals has that was approved was somewhere around 25,000. I don't know if the board would want to consider it. A lot of it would fall under education supplies, some other office supplies. They wanted to do some basic items that are currently not part of any approved budget for Easter Seals. And that's the only reason why these items were actually allowed by DHHS. But
Okay,
basically, the grant's coming to a close. So
and we have
basically,
leftover money.
There's a lot of unspent funds, and unfortunately, we didn't get the increase in participants that we're hoping for, especially on the Easter Seals side. But Easter Seals has all these other items that could help their program continue and be better in the future. But I'm just relaying that they've got a bit of a wish list. Silverthorne, my understanding is that they've got some items too. Some are higher individual price tag. But just for example, in the sub-recipient contract budget section, there's going to be over $100,000 remaining just in that line item alone.
So do we have to make this decision before the end of the year?
Yes, that's why I'm bringing it up. And again, Wendy Altman's suggestion is just to do a basic amendment to accept those items. So that's why I'm just bringing it forward now, because all the items have to be.
Accept those items as acceptable means to expend the funds from the
Yes.
grant, is that,
Yes,
okay?
because.
So I'm
Commissioner
sorry,
Foil?
go ahead. I would suggest that we get a list of the items and review them and put them on the agenda for next week, which is the 31st.
Okay.
So we'll have time to put them on the agenda and review it prior. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I agree, because I understand what's being said here, but I'd like to see it in writing so that we can give a little review to it. We want to make sure we expend all the funds. Is that accurate?
Well,
Do we have a plan to expend the balance of the funds?
well, we can only do what's allowed. And again, this wish list item, these items are different, but we have gotten an opinion from DHHS how, what their take is on some of them, because they did not approve all of them. Only certain, well, most of the items.
So how much of the $100,000 will get expended with what they approve?
I don't think, you're not gonna, if I had to guess, more like 75. So
Okay,
it'll still be
that's
far
close.
less.
All right. So we'll get that next week.
You'll get it even beforehand.
Yeah.
So you can review it.
Okay. Great. Anything else?
That's the biggest thing. We, just a quick item of note now, and I will bring it forward next week. Just from, this only affects elected officials as far as for the 7, I think it's 7 slots or 8. That there are technically in the calendar year 2026, there are 27 biweekly pay dates. And Kathy, I remember the last time this happened back in 2014, that because it wasn't addressed appropriately, that the elected officials back then went without any biweekly salary for the final biweekly pay date in December 14.
That's true.
So we're trying to get ahead of it right now. So what we're proposing, this is the heads up, is that the elected official annual salary, no changes to the approved annual salary, but if you divide a months equally, the 27 biweekly pay dates in the calendar year, no effective to fiscal year numbers, but to the to next year's calendar year biweekly annual salary amount, elected officials be just divided by 27
Instead of 26.
Right, so we don't run into the issue of elected officials going without any salary for, especially the last pay date in December.
Spread out.
It's the fairest way, especially if, hopefully nothing happens with individuals in their offices, but if there was a change in office, it's the first way it's that we find.
This is for calendar year twenty
Calendar
twenty-six.
year, right,
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 okay,
because that's what the official salaries are based on.
right.
And just a heads up, there will need to be in the springtime, probably late April or early May, the convention will have to have a, public hearing and a meeting concerning elected official salaries for the calendar year 27-28 term of office too. So, just one thing to look forward to for next year's process.
Sounds good. Glad you're on top of that. Thank you.
But again, just, very busy with many different things, obviously wind down to year end, all the different year end filings and what have you. So, very persistent.
Great. Thank you, Chuck. Chuck Maceos, Sheriff, tell us what's happening.
Nothing new to report. I said it all last week. Merry
That's it?
Christmas. Have a great holiday and we'll see you next week.
Okay. Aaron,
For me, Merry Christmas.
Layla,
Hi. I just have a question for Kate. May I have your permission to use your electronic signature on today's approved items?
Yes, please. Thank you so much.
Well, I have.
We have to sign off for that meeting.
okay, with that, that concludes our, oh, do you want to
Yeah.
give Jude, oh,
Real
Tom will
briefly,
give Jude the report.
Jude's down the hall at another meeting in the other conference room. So fire watch is still ongoing. They are getting close to solving it. They were told by Honeywell that they're getting close to figuring it out, but we still do have a fire watch. The fire department today,
What is a fire watch?
we have the alarm is down.
Would you like me to explain it?
No,
So essentially,
It's been
through
down.
the entire piece that they've been doing, Jude's team has been going through as a precaution for the fire watch, because the panels that are located throughout the nursing home and the kind of out offices relay back to the switchboard, and that's what notifies if there's a fire. Because that relay wasn't happening, they were doing a fire watch so that if there was a fire in an area, let's say, like, I don't want to jinx myself, so I actually don't want to say it, but in a location that's not staffed at night, we wouldn't know, right? So they go around and they're checking the closets and those items to make sure that there isn't a fire, to be proactive. Because it wasn't, and we were kind of uncertain, and then the alarm fatigue, because there was still kind of all the beeping and the noising. As an abundance of precaution, we put it in for the safety of everyone. They have been working very diligently. Jude has been wonderful in communicating with me, and they have fixed it where most of my units are responding. However, there's one unit in some of the outbuildings that are not. And because of that, that's maintaining, because like HR, I believe, isn't responding. So if something happened and if there was a fire at night, it wouldn't hit my switchboard and we wouldn't know. So that's the piece. I would lie if I tried to guess at what part she said, but because there's still those pieces, there's components that they're keeping the fire watch on premises because it's not relaying to the switchboard for some of the locations.
Okay, understood. Sorry to
No,
interrupt.
that's right. No, she is close, and just to let everybody know, the fire department does not require, but they recommend. And years ago, probably 7 or 8 years ago, we had it. It went on for like months. I want to say 6 months. When we talked about miles of wire, there's miles of fire alarm, and all you would have to do is pinch just one of those wires in that alarm and try to figure it out in a building that size. It could be forever. So.
I think currently the thought is that it's outside of the building because it's more the outer and it's not the nursing home that's impacted to the same level. It's only our wing that's, no, it's F that's impacted.
Yeah.
But it's primarily the outer buildings that are.
And again, the fire department today is doing their final walkthrough of this new building. And she's just getting ready for the storm. It's all a little bit of a storm today, nothing too crazy. That's all I have.
Okay, great. Thank you. That concludes Jude's update given by Commissioner Tamburello. All right, so that does all of our, that concludes our commissioner updates, and I take a motion to move this discussion on janitorial services off the table.
I'll second that motion.
Commissioner Coyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Tamburello?
Yes,
All right, I vote yes. Okay, so we're at a discussion. How how would you like to proceed? Do we want to have each group give a presentation and allow us to ask questions one at a time? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think so.
That sounds fine.
Okay. Well, let's start with who's right here in the room. We got C&M Cleaning. You're the incumbent that's been here right now. So I'll give you a little opportunity to tell us what you're doing, what we're doing, what we can expect. Specifically, one of the things that I think that we all want to address is to understand how many man hours we have in the plan to keep the building in shape. And that's a question I will have for each one of the participants. The man hours is it's a question.
Yeah, around 10 man hours per day.
Okay. You want to describe any detail of how your service is going or what you would expect it to, how you would expect it to move forward?
Well, like we got, the sheriff's department, which has the Sally Port and the booking area and all that in the back, which isn't being used yet. I feel that's gonna be quite a bit of work when that does come online, especially where they want the floor in the garage to stay clean. It's asking for at least once a week washing, but you know, we get some weather like this, it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be more of a daily wash. I really don't know, you know, how much of booking and stuff that they do. I've asked a few questions. They seem, the answer I got was that they do quite a few, I guess, so. So that's in the back of my head. Other than that, we come in 1 o'clock and we hit the sheriff's department. We're out of there for 4. I think there's still gonna be more work in there when they get more situated, where there isn't a lot, some of the people aren't even in there yet. So that's another question that I have, you know, in the back. And other than that, we come out here and we take care of this area, and then we head upstairs to the deeds, and we vacuum and dust and empty the trash, clean the bathrooms. That goes along pretty smoothly. And then we come down and we hit the attorney section. And that's been going along great. The same thing, you know, the trash and so on, spotting of the carpets. And I asked, like, they put out a thing about no drinks, no liquid in the trash cans, because that used to be quite an issue. You know, you gotta change all the bags every night, and you know, sometimes it's a full coffee cup, and the bags that we use aren't the greatest. That we're using the leftovers from the county that we had at the courthouse. So, you know, concerns about leaks and stuff. So sometimes we gotta double up the bag and, you know, take it down. More time spent getting it down off of the carpets and so forth. But yeah, it's running along basically what I thought it would. Like I said, less the sheriff's department. And that's it, I guess. We get the salt and the sand. It's been, it's a, you know, pain in the butt every year. So look, we just swept it off the sidewalk over here this week, and then the rain was great, but now we're gonna get the other storm tonight. So you go easier on the salt would be great, but I know it's a safety issue, so it's, you know.
Oh, so you're saying that because of the salt and sand that gets used, it gets tracked into the building and needs more cleaning?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and especially like the grates and stuff at the beginning where you walk in, those are pretty nice, but
Yeah.
there's also those are gonna have to be lifted up every now and then and clean the can underneath. Which there's nothing about that in anything, but I figure if we do that a couple times a year would be great.
So you said 10 hours a day, and you said in a beginning at 1 PM.
Yeah,
So are you working 1 to 11?
well, we have several, after 4 o'clock, there's usually two more people that come in.
Oh, I
it's
see.
total of people, yeah.
So you have 2 people in the afternoon.
Well, I've been here with the person that does the sheriff's department. Some days not. And then when we come in 4 o'clock, 2 more people come in, so that's three or 4 of us, all depending on the day.
Okay,
So we're usually out here somewheres around between 7 and 8 o'clock. When we first started, the first week we put in way over the amount of hours that I thought we were going to. The first night we lugged out 30 bags of trash, because nobody had been doing the attorneys. Plus all the move-in stuff, the boxes, and fortunately I had my pickup truck, because that's another issue, is getting to the dumpster. It's a long ways away from over there. The only way to get there by walkway is if you go out the sheriff's office. But you can't go out there, we can't go in there at night, so everything goes out there. We load it up, drive it around the building, and take it down to the dumpster. So that's an extra time. And yeah, so that was, that whoever does it should have a vehicle that can handle, 5 to 8 bags a night trash.
okay. Any other questions for Mr. Sparrow,
I have a couple.
Commissioner Coyle, Commissioner Tombrello?
So how many employees do you have right now?
I have 7.
7. I guess my other question is, the RFP actually asked, and you're one that actually provided the itemized pricing on the floor, deep floor cleaning, the window washing, and the carpet cleaning. So I would probably guess that you folks are not gonna get a 40-foot extension ladder and clean the windows. So those prices that you got from contractors that would come in.
Well,
maybe you're
I
gonna
put
tell me
in there
that.
that it'd be a rental for a
Rental for a lift.
125-foot boom.
Okay,
Especially, right, the way it was set up. I do quite a bit of window washing, but nothing this, from out front here. You're gonna have to come from the road
yeah,
to get, because you can't get, those things are heavy, you can't drive them on the patio. Plus there isn't much room over here, you got the cement tables and so forth, same thing on the back corner. It's gonna be a pretty tricky undertaking.
yeah. So, and I think if I'm reading it right, it looks like it's $8,215 would be.
Yeah, we got, usually you count by the window. But the way that this is so broke up, it's got 668 pieces of glass is how I come up with it. And then with all the things going every which way, that's like cleaning a window, each piece of glass. You gotta do the edges, the corners. So yeah, so.
The other question I had, just if you can give me a little bit of a breakdown on the carpet cleaning, it looks like that's $23,560. So I'm just wondering give me a little breakdown, I guess, on carpet cleaning. So,
Okay, what I didn't put in there was we have a dry kind of a carpet cleaning method. That I don't know, up in the deeds, we got those couple of rooms that with the suppression system. If you're even gonna want us to go in there, Okay, so that's with the dry, we could have used the drier stuff, but we did, but so take that off. All right, so yeah, we had, I forget what it was, 22,000 square feet at 19 cents a square foot. But we plan on be five technicians in the building for a weekend.
Okay,
There's a lot of cop.
yeah.
And the other question, there seemed to be some question about chemicals. First of all, are you providing the chemicals as
Correct.
part of your contract, cleaning solutions, all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff?
everything other than the paper products for, the bathrooms and.
The paper products also?
No, that, everything but.
Just the cleaning products?
Yeah, all the clean machinery and products that's provided.
And can you give us spec sheets on those kind of chemicals?
I
So we know what it is that,
put there, I believe they're in the, they're in.
You think
there,
it's in the RFP?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
because, yeah, when I talked to Jude, she had said that, the water treatment and so forth, that I happened to mention, I says, oh, no VCT tile, no stripping and waxing, that's nice. And then
Right.
she come up with, the chemicals we don't like, because we treat our own water and so on and so forth. So,
so Jude gave you some guidance on which chemicals we should?
no, it said in the proposal that just put in the sheets. And whoever would look at them and then get back to us. The biggest one that would go down the drain would be the mop water, and I use a neutral cleaner, so it's low in pH. It's a disinfectant. That's AF315. So that's mostly what would go down the drain. Everything else is used, in a spray, Lysol, Windex, that sort of stuff.
Check the other MSDS sheets there.
Yes, so C&M did submit some detailed sheets, as was requested in the RFP.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Mike?
There's one more, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Tom.
The starting date. It hasn't, you didn't fill out the starting date, but you folks are ready. You're here now, so I guess my question would be answered by myself, yes. You didn't put a starting date, but you would be.
Oh, okay, we might have missed that.
I gotta find little problems, you gotta-
Well, when we started out with this, I went back to the office and I says, all right, this is gonna be a big proposal. There's a lot to go through. Let's not make this last minute.
Yeah.
I was here at 4 o'clock in the morning delivering the proposal, the thing, so yeah, so maybe we missed that, but I
okay.
tried to cover everything and as best we could, and, any questions you got, I'm here to answer them.
Okay, Chuck, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, just a couple other things on the RFP were as far as acknowledgement of the non-appropriations clause and also about identification.
Okay, with the first one, they have a.
Non-appropriations basically means that if for whatever reason that some future date, say if we sign on for, say, a 3-year agreement, but then 2 years down the road, the county delegation decides to either defund or reduce the amount of funds in the budget line that would support this contract, that basically there could be more of an unplanned end to the contract than what was anticipated, in that any bidders should be acknowledging that and incorporating a non-appropriations clause into any agreement that is done with the county. Obviously, on the county side, what we would do is that once we got word of, obviously through the budgetary process, that the delegation was not going to be funding line to whatever extent, that there'd be communication done to whoever the winning bidder is. If this were to occur, that the winning bid would be apprised of that as early as possible. But it's just basically acknowledgement of that, because basically non-appropriations clause, you know, it basically acknowledges there's not like a breach situation because of end of funding. Because again, that's out of our hands. Per se.
So all you're looking for is a,
There's proposed non-appropriations clause, I believe that was in the RFP that would be included in a contract agreement. And then also indemnification, obviously the county is looking to be held harmless for any
yeah.
acts or what might come from cleaning services.
Okay, I talked to my insurance guy about that. He said that would be no problem to add on, if we needed to. He said, I don't really see how it really pertains to you as far as what it's, how this, but, well, whatever, if that's what you need, that's what we'll do.
Yeah, I guess Commissioner Tombrello already covered and so did Commissioner Godu as far as some other questions I had regarding staffing. Because obviously we want to make sure that if, in case there's any sort of absences, that there's adequate staff to fill in to make sure that.
Yeah, we had that happen last night. That's correct.
I think we need to have absolutely a number of how many people are gonna be here every day for staffing. So it's not one person or just two people and people called out. We had, this, you know, this is a big building, got a lot of stuff that we're generating. And for me, I'd like to know exactly how many people are gonna be on the ground every day here. And a commitment to that.
Yeah.
A commitment to that.
I think that's a fair question. Can you clarify exactly what you expect to have here for staffing?
Well, yeah, I pretty much, it'll be one to two persons doing the sheriff's department. And then over here should be 3 people a night would be the regular. And then there's certain nights where there's a 4th person that comes in, especially if, you know, with the snow and the salt and crap, he comes in and he does this floor down here.
So 1 to 2 people in the sheriff's department for how long? 1 to 4?
Yeah, 1 to 4.
And is it 1 or 2 people?
It's kind of a combination. There's a couple of days where there's 2 of us, and then there's a couple of days where there's only 1.
Okay, so that covers the sheriff's. What's the other staffing that you would anticipate? You said 3 others?
Yeah, the one that does the sheriff stays on right through till the
So at
end.
4 o'clock, who else do we have
Yeah,
on now?
and then there's 2 of us that come in at 4 o'clock.
So the previous 2 that were here doing the sheriff, and then 2 more coming in at 4?
No, if there's 2 in the sheriff's, it stays those 2 and another 1.
It's 3 total.
Yeah,
later on.
3 total for the most part. Sometimes there's 4 of us.
Okay. And you work until 5, 7?
Roughly 7, 8 o'clock is when we go out the door. Sometimes I'm here later, doing some specialty stuff, you know, but for the most part. And then, as I put in there, I got a couple of new pieces of equipment that I would be using if we come here. I gotta be a wide vacuum with a beater brush and so forth, so that would cover the big areas. And then also, we're gonna have to, rather than having 1 service cart that we could just take up and down in the elevator, we're gonna have to put 4 here so that we can keep the toiletries separated. That's a big issue because each floor's got their own toiletries, so that's gotta stay on their floor. So you can't load your cart up and just go around to and do it. So that's gonna be, more carts than I would have bought. to do the job, but that would keep it the best.
Does that answer your concerns, Kathy?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? For Mr. Sparrow, we'll move on to the next company. Star Building Services. Who do we have here from Star Building Services?
Yes, my name is Hans Familia. I represent Star Building Services, Director of Business Development. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I'm briefly going to tell you we are currently a state certified government contractor under FAC 114. We specialize in custodial janitorial for municipal and public facility, and all of our operation utilize 100% green, safe, and compliant environmental products. I'm going to go based on your questions earlier. You asked about staffing plan. Based on our assessment, we anticipate the staffing will be approximately 8 hours during the daytime shift to support the high traffic area and the sheriff's office. And immediate, we also propose to have 10 hours during the evening shift. That will be a total of 4 employees, 2 in the morning, 2 at nighttime, for a total of 18 hours per night. Okay.
Okay, but let's break that down so I understand it better. You said 8 hours during the day. How many people? Did we lose you, Hans? Because we
Hello,
can.
good afternoon. Good morning. My name is Jonathan Garcia. I'm also representative of Star Building Services. I guess in that hands has some issue with the reception. What I was trying to explain with the employees, it would be like 2 employees working 1 p.m. until 5 p.m., which is gonna be 8 minutes hours. So and then it's gonna be 2 more people working from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m.
So that's 10 work hours.
Correct, at nighttime.
Total of 18 hours.
That's correct.
Okay. I think that's pretty clear on staffing. Do we have descriptions of the chemicals? We do not.
Description of the chemicals, so all chemicals that we use are green certified, and we're able to supply with the SDS sheets as required.
Did you supply them?
Yes.
We're saying we don't have the SDS sheets. Commissioner Coyle?
I was just saying, can you we didn't get the SDS sheets with your bid, maybe it was submitted and lost, but if we can get those, that would be very helpful.
No, of course, yeah, we can submit it.
Okay, to follow. So we'll get SDS sheets to follow for our review. Because you don't have anything yet.
No,
Jeff.
it was only including the cover page, it was a 6-page response. And I understand the blanket statement of eco-friendly but there were no details. We asked for the data sheets.
So we will need those data sheets so that we understand what chemicals you're planning to use.
Yeah, we can supply it.
Okay. Can you supply that pretty quickly for us?
Yes, we can submit it today.
Okay, great. Thank you. Anybody have any other questions for our Star Building? Chuck.
So just like with C&M cleaning, the RFP had a requirement as far as the non-appropriations clause being acknowledged and also indemnification clause. So I'm just wondering as far as your company's stance on those 2 items.
Can you say it again? So I barely can hear you. I don't know if you can get closer to the microphone.
So in the RFP, there were 2 conditions, one regarding non-appropriations clause and one about indemnification clause as far as liability. And so we were looking for each respondent to have included that in their bid. And I did not see that in your response. So
Yeah, we are supplying.
Jonathan, I can take that over. I'm back in the line. You say you didn't see that on our response?
You only had including the cover page, a 6-page response, and no, it wasn't in there.
Okay, that might have been an oversight. We can also provide that if you need it.
Yes, we require it as to be for each respondent to include it.
In the contract that's presented.
Yes, there has to be, paragraphs or sections. And we would have been looking for that acknowledgement in the bid response.
Do you have some wording, Chuck, that is acceptable to us?
I believe in the RFP, we actually provide an example.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, so it's clear what it is that we need in the contract. And
Yeah,
I think the overall question, Hans, is do you have any concerns that your company would be willing to comply with those requests?
No, we have no concern at all.
Okay, so you would just have to, it's a detailed,
that's part of what we'd be looking for in the response is if the respondents had some concerns about it.
right,
We try to lay the fears of non-appropriation clause by defining that once the county knows if that instance would occur, we would provide as, immediate notification as possible to any, vendor.
right.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I can definitely put a statement together, send out today with the SDA sheet.
Okay,
Thank you.
any other,
I do that.
Commissioner Tombrello.
So, on staff, you guys gave a bid of all-in bid, which is kind of concerning to me, the fact that we asked you guys to break down the window cleaning and the different items, so I would have liked to have seen what you're anticipating the cost is for doing a semi-annual cleaning on the rugs, the windows and stuff like that. You're sparse in those details. All in bid scares me, that, okay, we're gonna do it, but I want to know what you're doing.
No, absolutely. Well, we put in a quote based on your requirements there. Every single.
Yeah, but you're telling me by Zoom. I want to see it so that when things don't go the way, they don't go the way I want them to go, I have something to back it up. All in bid scares me. How many employees do you folks have? Because it's only fair that I ask all three of you. How many employees?
Yeah. Okay, so
many?
we have a total of 680 plus employee, but we only anticipate to have 4 employees working at your facility.
Okay. How would you guys anticipate cleaning the windows in this building? I guess I'm on the window thing because I'm in construction. Somebody's not gonna be able to come here with a 40-foot extension ladder and do these windows. So have you guys looked at that, and is that part of the all-in bid that you guys anticipate to spend $20,000 or $30,000 on getting lifts and renting stuff to get lifts here? Because you're not gonna do this building with a ladder.
Totally agree, but we can definitely bring in a lift in there to get that completed.
The question is, Hans, is that included in your bid that you'll bring in the appropriate equipment to clean the windows, once or twice a year?
Yeah, yes, it is. It is included.
It's included in your bid.
Correct.
Is it not, is it detailed in the response? So
It's
we might need
all-
clarification of that detail. Is that what I'm kind of getting at?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it was an overall brief response.
And maybe what would make the most sense is when you send the email with the additional information, you could also confirm in writing that the scope of your bid to the extent that it's not clear in your initial bid.
Understood.
So window cleaning and carpet cleaning, those were the two
yeah, three of them.
issues that we called out and we were looking for confirmation. Will we clean the carpets and windows twice a year? Is that the
Semi-annual.
And then
Yeah.
the flooring, the tile, deep
Yeah.
cleaning of the
deep cleaning of, well, the flooring's all, I think we're almost all carpet.
No,
Except the bathrooms,
I
maybe.
think the tile.
A little tile out there,
And those are
33 bathrooms and
right?
this and the hallways and the and the sheriff's department.
Okay,
They also asked you guys to propose starting date. There's no specific date provided. When would you folks be able to take this project on?
Well, we can, I guess the question will be, when do you guys would like us to start? And then we can, work around your schedule. I'm not sure. I know that you guys were doing some construction over there. I'm not sure what your timeline is. You already all completed and, if the building is ready to start cleaning services. I guess that'll be the main question here right now.
We're actually in the building, and the company that has done work down the street every couple of weeks, we're authorizing them to stay on till this RFP is ready. So we've been ready and we've been extending the contract temporary until we come up with a solution for the RFP with different vendors. So we're ready.
Okay.
I guess the question is, when are you ready?
Okay. All right. So well, why don't we figure about 2 weeks so we can be in compliance with all CGs and have enough time to properly do background check on all the employees that are going to be working over there, and then we can move forward after 15 days from now.
Is the sheriff doing background check? 'Cause it needs to be done because of the county attorney's office.
have you done background checks on your employees? And is the sheriff specifically?
He's done for the courthouse, that's what he did.
So we're going to need
We're all done.
specific employees. Yours are set.
Everybody, yeah.
We need specific employees to be investigated, to be confirmed.
Yeah, because we want copies of that to make sure, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so that will delay the 2 weeks
yeah, it shouldn't. take
till we
long.
can,
Shouldn't take long at all.
not that, okay.
They're quick now. Okay.
All right, so we will need background checks on everyone who is going to be coming into the building, especially after hours.
Okay.
Okay, any other, Chuck?
So one other requirement in the RFP that I did not see in your response was an insurance certificate. That was not part of the response. So that would be needed to be provided. That would show that you meet the required insurance coverage levels.
Yeah, we submitted our insurance coverage, but normally our insurance provider, unless we have a contract in place, they don't generate a COI, which is a certificate of insurance. But we can definitely provide a sample at the time being for now for your evaluation that shows all of our coverage. And then once we get an award, then we can definitely have the same certificate that we provide you as a sample be your certificate of insurance with your name on it.
Is that acceptable?
Yeah, I mean, the other, other response didn't have an issue, but
They already sent
yes,
certificates of insurance.
yes.
Okay, I think he's indicating that he'll get it for us.
I know that there's a question that some carriers may not want to list additionally insured unless there is a contract in place.
Right, but we can, maybe a current certificate that they're using for somebody else
It's
to
like
understand.
this insurance certificate, but not listing us as additional insured. Just
So I ask you to,
stating coverage.
could you follow up on an insurance certificate for us so that we understand what the coverage is going to be and that it's within the parameters that we've outlined?
Absolutely, yeah. I can provide that to you as well.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So we'll move on to American Facilities Professionals. Who do we have for a spokesperson for that group?
That would be me. Good morning, everyone. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah,
Hi, my name is Jamika Spencer. I'm the president for American Facilities Professionals. I have joining me Caleb, who's there in the room with you. He will be a on-site cleaning staff. He lives locally there in the area. Also have Matt Storrs joining us, who is the dedicated project manager for this account. Ellen Tafoya, who handles our account management if there was to ever be any questions, need to flex up or flex down on the services that are being delivered, as well as Nelson Walker, who's our director of field operations and assists Matt with making sure staff is properly, available and sufficient and whatnot for the contract, not just who's servicing there on a day-to-day, but as well as the backup staff, and that they're compliant in case we ever get into a situation where someone's sick, has to call out, things of that sort. So where to start? So first and foremost, congrats on the new building. We're really excited at the opportunity to service this building. We lean forward a little bit different in our pricing and definitely flexible around getting any other details over to you guys that are needed. The building itself, with the hours of the day and the night, we wanted to provide to you what the hourly rate or daily rate would look like for those individuals. Again, so that you have that flex up or flex down as you uncover what the needs of the new building may be. That's been our experience over time. Is a new facility, we think we know, but as we get in there, we decide, oh, we need this or we need that. And then you guys know what your hourly rate is that night or that day shift. We are prepared with 5 full-time staff members and ready to background check and establish more as needed to ensure, again, that we have sufficient coverage for the building. When it comes to our data sheets, we included inside of our proposal a screenshot of them, but Ellen has also emailed the detailed data sheet over to Layla so that all of those are laid out. You guys can look at the details of each of them accordingly to make sure that they fit. And of course, we're flexible there if you have any concerns around what we're using and need us to adjust in any way at all whatsoever. I do believe that all of the clauses were acknowledged within our RFP that have been brought up. And we also provided a COI with you listed as a certificate holder, just to show that there's proper coverage there. We service some other clients that, mission critical environments, things of that sort. So I do believe our COI will be compliant with what you're looking for. I will stop there and open up for any questions that you may have. I just wanted to address the things I had heard go around. No need to repeat the same questions.
No, that's very good. Would you clarify the staffing? How many employees will be here? How many hours? What hours do you envision? I just want to see what you envision would happen.
Yes, absolutely. So I've heard the hours of 1 PM passed around. We're not obviously as familiar with the current service hours that are being provided to the building, but we have staff available from that 8 to 5 full-time day slot. If you want to back that up to 1 o'clock when they come in, that's completely okay. 2 staff members for that daytime, and then 2 at night if needed. We estimated that it would be 1, but again, we can flex up or flex down with that. That's why we provided you guys with the nighttime hourly rate and the daytime hourly rate. All of our folks are background checked in our own system so that we don't have any surprises when they come to your system. So we can also get compliant within yours as well to make sure all proper documentation is on file.
Okay, so I'm still not clear.
Mm-hmm.
How many people, how many hours each day?
Yes, so we estimated in our original bid, a person for a daytime full shift, 8, and a person for a nighttime shift. In hearing the communications of the current cleaning that is needed, we have available 2 people for that daytime shift and 2 for the night shift, as well as backups if needed.
How long is the night shift?
Ellen, correct me if I'm wrong, but we estimated the night shift as a 5-hour shift. Let me go back to that part. Sorry.
So just one other question, your bid is predicated on 1 person for a day and 1 for night.
Yes, ma'am. We didn't want to overestimate, and we weren't exactly sure. There was some moving going on when we did the tour, so we didn't get a chance to ask those detailed questions on what you guys wanted, but we can flex that. That's why we provided the hourly rate per person, and we can easily align 2 people or 1 person based on those needs.
So to answer your question, sir, the after hours is 20 hours per
Total
week.
for the week.
Yeah. So then,
So
or a night.
your estimate is based on 12 man hours. But it would double if we wanted 24 man hours,
Correct.
essentially.
Correct. And we try to lean forward with the transparency on just what that hourly rate was, so that you have that flexibility. If it needs to be 10 hours, 12 hours, we can move that around. No need to be there more than what's needed, but definitely want to make sure that you guys are budgeted to clean the facility properly.
I understand that you suggested that you would have somebody here for 8 hours during the day and 4 hours in the evening. Does that include once a year, twice a year, cleaning windows and doing a deep clean on the carpets?
It does not include as a total in the hours. That is what the hourly rate would be on that, and we can set that budget. Typically do with clients is if you want the semi-annual done in June, we'll lay out it's going to be done over X weekend, and we'll budget for the 3 to 4 people that are needed for that. And then the same, the windows budget accordingly, but it would be ran at the hourly rate.
So those items are in addition to the bid?
They're not inside of the monthly cost. No, sir. It would be an hourly rate based on that. And we could send that over in a detail. I do realize that we missed calling out that specific line item in our bid.
And have you been through the building? Do you think that 12 hours of man hours is going to do the job? I mean, I know you're responding to what some of the other respondents said. There was no requirement on our standpoint that anybody starts at 1 o'clock. That's
Okay.
just the proposals that were given to us.
Got you.
I'm interested in what your evaluation would be for what our needs would be anticipated.
Our evaluation is that while the building is staffed during the day, there should be upkeep going on. We view janitorial work as a preventative approach. And so we keep up throughout the day as the building is being utilized. And then the same thing at night, just based on the hours of the specific areas that need to be cleaned at night based the way that they're staffed or how they're used. So we do feel that. Again, it was hard to tell with the moving and going on. I know Caleb did the tour as well as Chris, but we can have a discussion. The way that we launch contracts of this sort is this is a good discussion to get an understanding of who we're partnering with, both a mutual vetting process. When we come in and do the final walk with you, we're going to fine tune that and make sure that nothing is missed and that we are locked in for the hours that that facility requires to maintain in a proactive approach.
Okay. Commissioner Coyle, do you have any further questions?
I do not. Thank you.
You're
Commissioner
welcome.
Tombarello?
So if I'm getting this right, Jamika,
Mhm.
you're not putting anything in there for the windows, the rugs, or the flooring. That's going to be additional on top of your cost that's given to us on the overall cost. Am I?
It would run at the hourly rate, correct? We leaned forward and gave you what we felt your stable monthly number would be to maintain the facility on a day-to-day basis, and then to sit down and confirm what weekends, what days, when it comes to the flooring, and lay out an exact budget for that for your semi-annual, like I said, if that's in June or December, and then your annual cleaning.
The problem I have with it is that it should have been in the initial bid, because now you're going to tell me that we'll lay it out. You know, the first group that came on actually told us what it would cost to clean the windows, what it would cost to do the carpet. You're going to tell us later on in life on top of the quote that you've given us.
It doesn't have to be later on in life. We misunderstood that portion.
But later than today.
Over to you. I'm happy to get something over to you right after here today. It doesn't have to be later in life. It could be today.
I think that to Commissioner Tombrello's point, if you don't mind, to Commissioner Tombrello, is we want to see a realistic number. So I think the things that the problem is, it's hard to, we don't, if we sign a contract with you and then there's something down the road, we have no idea what to anticipate or what to budget. So we'd be looking for, if you want to similarly to the extent that other vendors have additional information to send, we would like to see that.
Yeah, we'll get that right over to you today. Not a problem. I understand. Never would expect that. Again, previous contracts that we have, we would lock in the monthly, weekly, daily janitorial. Nothing within that scope of work or the award would include the other portions that are defined as specific, and then we would define those. We're more than happy to go ahead and define those so they can all be included in the one award. Not a problem.
And one other thing, the other thing is on the hourly rate, so it's public record because I'm going to tell you what it is anyway. It's $28 an hour and then $42 an hour. So that's time and a half. Obviously, 14 and 28 is 42. We have 550 employees here. We don't pay anybody for an off shift time and a half unless they go over 40 hours. Why would we be doing that with you folks, I guess? And you scenario
at a premium rate within our experience to staff at those hours with the folks that you need to work more independently on those evening rates. It's just what our experience has been to have reliable staff who show up consistently and they truly own their responsibilities of that facility. Could it be cheaper? Absolutely, no doubt. But we take the responsibility of having reliable staff very seriously. And to be quite frank, sometimes you get what you pay for when it comes to those things. So those buildings that building isn't to be taken lightly. The areas that we're cleaning isn't to be taken lightly. And the staff showing up. We also provide a system that each of the locations that our staff is cleaning is geofenced to a certain degree. You guys receive real-time reporting, even for the night cleaning of before and after photos, the things that were cleaned, what was taken care of, what was maintained. So full transparency on the staff and the cleaning and what's going on in there. So it's a full investment into making sure, again, that we proactively maintain that facility the way that it requires.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? Chuck, do you think we've covered all the contractual
Yeah,
questions?
because my concern was initially there was those two different hourly rates provided. And then after that, while it said 1 FTE for the after hours, when you looked at the number of hours per week, it was only 4 per day. And obviously 12 hours a day, that's much less than what we've heard from the two others. As far as that it would be
8 hours at the day rate.
at the day rate
And 4 hours at the night rate.
is what there's.
So that's 12 work hours, right?
Right, but what we've had from others, that we've heard from others, that it's more like, you're hearing it's more like 18, it's a wider range of hours.
Well, according to my notes that I was doing, C&M is estimating 10 work hours per day.
But
and Star was anticipating 18.
But more staff.
Mr. Spear also said that he'd be looking at, it'd be 1 to 2, not just 1 to a day, and then it'd be 2 to 3 at night, which is more than what it's.
Yeah, I was a little short. I mean, we're probably up more like 12 hours a day, but like what I was.
Total man hours.
Yeah, what I was also planning on is, like I said, that the Sally Port in that area back there, when that comes online, that's probably gonna be another hour a day or better. So.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else have any other questions for any of the folks here? I think I have a pretty clear idea. We'll move this discussion to next week for Further discussion? Does that make sense to everyone?
'Cause I
I
we
think
have,
so.
Yeah.
We can get
So-
the additional documentation that we need to evaluate.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. This has been most helpful in our deliberation on this RFP. Get a personality and a view of who you are and the services that we can expect. I think we don't have any other questions for that at this point. And so
we'll make a
I'd like
motion.
to move on.
We'll make a motion to put it on hold. We open it back up.
We took it off the table.
We have to table it because the motion's tabled.
Okay, so
To table the motion now.
I'll
'cause we
accept
put
the
it-
motion to table this approval.
I'll make a motion to table the award proposal for janitorial and housekeeping services tentatively for next week.
Second,
Second, any other discussion? Commissioner Coyle,
yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Tombrello, and I vote yes. Okay, so this will be tabled till probably next week. Any other new business or old business?
I had a question for Chuck, if I could.
Go ahead, Commissioner
So-
Tombrello.
Chuck, in regards to money that would have to go back to the federal government from ARPA monies. I'm hoping that the answer would be that we're giving them back $1. Have we tallied up what we got, what we spent that was approved for, and what potentially could be going back to the federal government? Just for my own, maybe for everybody. I mean, I know we were allotted 60 some odd million, and our goal was to give them back $1. And I will stress that Stratford County wrote a check for 16 million and gave it back to the federal government.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, oh, yeah.
We fully obligated 100% of all the funds. for
All of it,
SLFRF
okay.
By 12/31/24 as required. There are still some projects that we have not, the performance period is not done, but the performance period can run all the way to the end of next calendar year. Obviously, I'd rather be happier if
Just
you know,
so.
all projects get done
I want
sooner.
to give them back $1 though. I've been saying that. And I did. I talked to George McGlarus, the chairman of the board of Stratford. They put all of their eggs in the basket. And doing renovations on the nursing
Oh,
home and their relationship with the delegation. And we've talked about how important the delegation relationship is. They are giving back the federal government $16 million because they lost by 2
It's
votes.
because if you're obligated, you have to have your list of projects and everything, all obligations set for 12/31/24. So unfortunately, if events happen after that, then yes, you could be stuck with turning some monies back in.
Okay.
We're not in that.
$1 check, that's
situation.
my goal.
Well, we saw some other projects that we need to make sure that we follow up on and that monies are spent. But I will tell you that 100% was obligated at
Okay. beautiful.
12/31/24.
Okay, any other new business? Public comment. Anybody here from the public that would like to address the board?
I just want to say happy holidays, everybody. Really great to meet you guys there, see you guys in person, or not person, but virtually. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
I do have one thing to add.
Sure.
In the discussion of the windows and so forth, the deeds office has a line in there where their windows will be done more often. So I didn't see anything brought up about that. All we talked about was the outside, the one what's in the air window.
Okay. With that, I'll take a motion to move into non-public.
I'll make a motion to move into non-public, per New Hampshire RSA 91-A:3 Roman numeral 2 personnel.
Second,
Any discussion on moving to non-public? On the motion, Commissioner Tombrello?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
yes.
I vote yes. We moved into non-public. Thank you very much, everybody.
Who has none?
We have returned from our non-public session and Commissioner Tombrello has a couple of motions to make.
In a non-public session, we had 2 items that we discussed, and I'll make a motion to seal the non-public minutes indefinitely because it's determined that the validity of this information would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board.
Any discussion? None from me.
Nope.
Commissioner Coyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Tombrello?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Those minutes are sealed. And one final motion.
Motion to adjourn and Merry Christmas.
Second. All those in favor? Commissioner Coyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Tombrello,
Aye.
and I'm a yes. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Take care, everyone.
Mike.